Good evening, everyone, and welcome into the Off the Reins podcast. My name is Ryan Messer, and unfortunately, Stallions are not going undefeated this season. We lost to the San Antonio Brahmas, and unfortunately, it's not going to be an undefeated season this season as much as we had hoped. But overall, this game really didn't count as far as playoff contention because we've already clinched, or in the realm of clinching home field because due to some circumstances at up in Michigan, we are already have home field because of some scheduling conflicts up there in Michigan. So that's we've got a lot to get to about the game, about the other games that happened this weekend because this was a really good slate of games. If you missed them, you missed some really good football, except for one game, and we'll get to that as well. But overall, really, really great weekend. I also want to start off by saying to all the military families out there, happy Memorial Day. If you've lost anyone, let's from our team here at Shotgun Sports, we want to wish the families of those who have served and lost loved ones very happy Memorial Day. We thank you all for your service because even being a family member of someone in the service is a really big service as well because it's a mental taxing toll. And this day right here is a real reminder of just those that didn't get to come back. So from all of us here at Shotgun Sports, we want to wish you and yours happy Memorial Day. But a lot of the teams did celebrate the hats off to heroes this weekend. The ones that didn't celebrate last weekend, like Birmingham did, they had some really good merchandise packages and deals for those that were in the military. So overall, make sure I want to thank you all, like I said. And before we get any further, I want to make sure you guys are following us on all of our social handles. We've got a lot of things to get. We got a new page. We've got a new podcast in the works. So make sure you guys are following us on all of those handles, including, like I said, the new page called Shotgun Sports Alabama. We're going to be covering anything and everything that's not related to the Stallions exclusively is going to be on that page. So if you haven't seen it, it's been on. We've posted it everywhere. So make sure you're following us on there because we're going to get a little bit further into it at the end of the show. But make sure you guys are following it so you don't miss a thing. All right, another thing we're going to get into is the Birmingham Sports Brief, brought to us this week, like always, by Blue Spring Living Water. Jumping right on into it with the Birmingham Barons of the MILB, who just swept the Biloxi Shuckers in a away series over in Biloxi. And guys, this team is amazing this year. Their ERA's through the roof, down to the floor. It's ridiculous. They've got one of the best ERAs in the league. They're now 30-14 on the season, still number one in the Southern League North and the entire Southern League. So, but we've got another series coming up with the Rocket City Trash Pandas coming into town, which is always a big, rivalry game there because they're right up 65. So it's always a good matchup with them. We will be out there this weekend covering the game for you guys. So we've got a big slate a busy week this week because we're going to be at the uh, Barons game. We will be at the Stallions game, and we will be at the Legion game the following week. So it's going to be a busy couple weeks for us. So we're excited for it though. So uh, hope to see some of you guys out there. Make sure you're going out and supporting the Barons guys because uh, I know they've always got some kind of promos going on and all kinds of giveaways and stuff like that. So make sure you guys get out there and show the new ownership. I know the ownership has local ties, but make sure you get out there and show them some love because these teams they really need the support right now. And also, it's a really fun time. If you take the kids out there on Fridays, they got the fireworks. The kids can run the bases on on Sundays. So then you got wet. You can take the furry babies on Wednesday. So it's always a great time to take a night out and check out the Birmingham Barons out there at Regents Field. So um, switching over to the Birmingham Legion, who took on the Sacramento Republic FC this past weekend. Um, but unfortunately, it wound up ending in a draw. This team really does match up well with the rest of the league because a bunch of them are really close games, and we held the best team in the league to 3 goals last week. So it's going to be really good to see how this team evolves through the rest of the season, and it's just going to come down to this team just really merging together because I know we lost a few people over the past off season, so people going to different teams, maybe even I think we had some MLS guys go up to the MLS. So um, the next home game is gonna be on the 9th versus the Indy 11. So make sure you guys get out there. It's gonna be superhero night. So make sure you bring the kids out. It's gonna be a great time. They always have some really fun activities for the kids. So head out there. It's a really great atmosphere. You've got the drum line. It's a really, I can't describe it. It's really great atmosphere. We will be out there on the 9th for that game. It's actually one of the reasons why we had to have the USFL conference championship game on the 8th because of the fact that there were some scheduling conflicts up in Detroit, and then you had this game, which is going to be on the 9th. So scheduling conflicts made it to where it was forced to be here in Birmingham and on um, the 8th. So luckily, like I said, it's going to be a busy weekend next weekend as well because we will be at both of those games as well. And I hope to see you guys out there. We're excited about it because it's going to be the first time we've been to a game this season. So it's always fun. Check out those guys in the Birmingham Legion. Ramiz Hamuda was actually called up to the men's youth national team, the U16 camp. So good luck to him. It's going to be, hopefully he can, luckily we're seeing some of these guys. He's the only player actually in that camp. So we wish him the best up there. And it's great to see that some of the guys that are playing on this team are getting noticed. You know what I mean? So that's really exciting as well. Something else that's always exciting is when I get my shipment from Blue Spring Living Water. I don't know if you heard, but they actually had some issues where they were getting sold out in multiple grocery stores because of some of the a bunch of the people worried about the tap water. So you don't have to worry about the stores being sold out if you get a shipment directly from Blue Spring, because they'll deliver it right to your door. So make sure you go online to Blue Spring Living Water, or you can hit the link in the description and check out and take a step toward a healthier life with Blue Spring Living Water. Back over to the Stallions, where unfortunately we did lose on Saturday. Um, but it was somewhat self inflicted to an extent because of the way this team has just been. Some of these guys have been playing somewhat selfishly, and that's about what it came down to. It was a real defensive game, and the way that they San Antonio really came with the defense, and you know what they say, defense wins championships. So they were the ones that best matched up against us this year. We had a chance to come back at the end, but unfortunately, there were some big mistakes that we wound up shooting ourselves in the foot and wound up losing that game. One of the biggest mistakes, some of the biggest mistakes were the penalties, where it came down to the unsportsmanlike and the unnecessary roughness, the personal fouls, and Coach Holtz said on last week that those are unexcusable. Stuff like that, especially the unsportsmanlike, where he's told these guys and preached to these guys multiple times to where you need to celebrate with your team. If you get a stop or if you make a big play, celebrate with your team. Don't go out and gloat and taunt and stuff like that. Get with your guys, celebrate with your team, and really just don't be selfish about it. Play for the name on the front of the jersey, not on the back. That kind of mentality, and this team has been really good about maintaining that unselfish culture until just recently. I'm not sure if it was the fact that we're the only undefeated team and it was just getting to their head and they were focusing on that, or if they were trying to focus on what's to come and on the for the championship games, the playoffs. We're not sure, but some of these guys, they're starting to really not have that mentality that the team has had majority of the season, which is just unselfishness and just team oriented mentality. So we've got to. I know like I said, Coach Holt's been preaching about that 1-0 mentality and the next man up mentality, but you've got to also think about, playing for like I said, the person on the name on the front of the jersey, not on the back. I know that's something that people like us will say, and some of the players will say, but when the players actually go out there and do stuff like that, it shows that they're not in that mentality for the entire game. But like I said, the defense is what it came down to as well, with them stopping us every step of the way. Uh, we couldn't run, we couldn't throw. They were accounting for Adrian Martin. They had Adrian's number every single time. Uh, Sometimes I don't understand how he got out of some of the pickles he was in, but fortunately, we were held to a single score game, but uh, we had a chance to come back there at the end, but unfortunately, they wound up getting the stop. So, this is the third game in the row where we've had these kinds of games where it came to the uh, crazy penalties and stuff like that. So I'm not sure what Coach Holtz has in store for these next couple games. I know that we've been bringing a lot of people back from injury lately. Um, we got to see Wadman come back, which is great. Uh, so, and then we've seen oh Amari Rogers come back from injury. A lot of people are starting to come back. So JoJo Tillery is back off of his injury. He got re-signed as well. So he was actually um, not active. He was inactive this past week. So hopefully we can get him back in the flow of things and get him ready for the postseason. It's going to be exciting to see who else we can wind up hopefully getting back. Maybe some folks off of IR. But though both of those guys, none of those guys were on IR. I don't think we've gotten anybody back off of IR yet. So there's a lot of people on IR, and there's the way that this team's doing it is the fact that they're waiving the folks, letting them recover, and then filling their positions, but then re-signing them and letting them recover. That's really a smart move to kind of off-put some of the rules. I'm not sure if the league's going to look into that this off season, but it's a really smart move because if you put them on IR, they're out for right now. They're all out for the rest of the season because it's automatic 5 weeks. So there's no use in doing that if you're wanting to bring them back. And then if you need the people, if you need their replacements, they won't have to waive them. So luckily, we were able to do that with a couple guys like JoJo Tillery and Colby Wadman, and it was great to see both of those guys. Unfortunately, like I said, we didn't see JoJo; he was still inactive, but hopefully, we'll see him in the coming weeks because he's a great leader in this defense, and we're going to need it going into the playoffs coming up. So another thing was Saturday was a big day of upsets. Not only did the Birmingham Stallions get upset by, which it wasn't really as much of an upset as the other upset, but considering both of these are potential UFL championship teams, which I'm hoping to see them again. But we also saw Arlington put up a really good game against St. Louis and wind up taking them down, which sets up San Antonio for home field for the XFL Conference Championship. So it's great to see. It was a great game, and it's great to see Luis Perez and the rest of that team, Sal Canella, and all just really have an ultimate, just straight up great game. That was one of the best games I saw them play all season long. And then yesterday was a really good game as well, where we saw Houston take on the Michigan Panthers, and Michigan was up double digits on Houston was up double digits on Michigan, and Michigan wound up coming back. Unfortunately, there was a game that it looks like Fox had to swap over in on their regionalization to wind up, I guess, salvage some of the viewership, but they wound up switching it over to the Houston game from the DC and Memphis game because DC wound up just destroying Memphis. It wasn't even close there at the half, right after the half, so they wound up swapping that over to the Houston and Michigan game, which was a really, like I said, it was a really, really good game. Uh, I was kind of pulling for um, Houston to pull it off because that was a really good game. If they could have pulled it off and just not let them come back, and that's been the story for this Houston team. It seems like they wind up losing it there at the end every single time. Um, that's another one of the teams like Arlington that I really think their record does not really dictate how great of a team they really are because their games come to the last few minutes of the game, and this one did as well. But they almost had it there at the end, so um, it was great. Like I said, it was weekend of the upset, except for the Memphis and DC game. Uh, the Defenders wound up running away with that game. Um, Another thing is home. Like I said, home field will be determined this coming Saturday for the XFL, and then the regular season uh, champion, if you will, for the USFL will be um, determined this weekend between Michigan and Birmingham. So, fortunately, we get a chance to redeem ourselves this coming up weekend on Saturday, facing the Michigan Panthers. It's going to be really tough because we've got to play these guys two times back to back. So Coach Holt said it's hard enough playing a team twice, much less three times. So it's going to be exciting, hard. It's going to be competitive because these teams, they're not. It's very competitive football here, and people are starting to realize that these teams are more competitive than they were, a year or two ago. So it's good to see that there's going to be. Hopefully, the viewership was really good this week because we had some really good football this week. Um, Houston, they've got to find their. Hopefully, this off season they can fix some things and hopefully they can win some more games next year. Um, Arlington, like I said, same thing. I think Arlington and Houston are right there in the same boat where they could be really great teams if it wasn't for a couple different things. Birmingham has been a team that's won despite themselves sometimes because Birmingham's really bad about shooting themselves in the foot, like we've mentioned previously. But overall, this has been a really great season so far. Uh, Thankfully, we've not seen, you know, we most of what we've seen has been better than what we saw previous years. Like I said, so this weekend's going to close out the regular season. Uh, it's been, like I said, it's been a really good season, and I don't know. I'm hoping that we see more market outreach this offseason than what we've seen from the XFL and the USFL previously. I know last year was all about trying to get the merger. Uh, so hopefully we'll see more market outreach and more market promotion in the off season than we saw previously. That's just if you ask me, because that's when you get your folks out there. Like, send some guys to the Squadron game, or send some guys to a Birmingham Bulls game, just to just get some more fans out there. Because that's been a big thing in this. That's been a talking point is not having as many fans. Birmingham's actually been one of the bigger markets for the for viewership and for the USFL conference in attendance numbers. So most of the USFL teams have been lower than what Birmingham has. I know there's been a lot of criticism for Birmingham. However, they've had one of the the top half of top 50% in attendance numbers this season. So I know that, like I said, a lot of people wanting to talk about stuff like that, but like I said, Birmingham's in the top 50%. So other than that, we're still going to keep you covered after the season. The champion is crowned. However, we're going to be going once again to every other week. But we do have some news for you guys from the Shotgun Sports realm of things. We have a new page, like we mentioned earlier, and it is called Shotgun Sports Alabama. And we are going to bring you all things. The Birmingham Sports Brief will wind up not being a part of the Off the Reins podcast anymore. It will be just an entire podcast called the Forge Podcast. And we're just going to give you a little insight into it and right here. And make sure you guys check this out. And that's going to be the intro every week as we're bringing you the Forge podcast. It's a tribute to the metallurgical history and of the city of Birmingham, and we're just going to bring you all things Birmingham sports. We are going to have interviews from local celebrities and local legends and stuff like that, but I'll go ahead and give you a little spoiler. Week 1 is going to launch on July the 1st, and week 1 we are going to have an exclusive interview with Rick Carly. Most of you guys know him from the news locally. He was on Channel 6. He was on Channel 13. Man's had a great career. He talks a little bit about his career, talks a little bit about other folks around, legends from around here. So make sure you guys check it out. It's going to be a great show coming up. So make sure you guys follow this page, the Alabama Shotgun Sports Alabama page. This weekend, it's going to be great, though. Make sure y'all guys also head out to Protective Stadium and support the Stallions this weekend and the Legion this weekend. And make sure you guys get there early for both of those games, because there's the Iron City Comic-Con, and make sure you guys get there early so you can make sure you find parking in time, because it's also going to be fan appreciation, and we're expecting to see some kind of promotion, some kind of giveaway or something coming from it being the fan appreciation. It's going to be the last regular season game, and then we've got the championship game the following week, and hopefully we will see you guys in St. Louis. We will be in St. Louis. Regardless of who's there, we will be there. So it's the season's wrapping up. It's getting hard-nosed football. It's been extremely competitive football, but this is some of the best football we've seen all year. So a lot of people were talking about the ratings, the TV ratings probably going down. I really don't think it's going to, especially after what we saw this past week. I think the next 3 weeks will be some of the best ratings we've seen all season long. So, some really good games coming up. So, uh, the two championship game teams, all four championship teams playing each other this weekend. Then the championships weekend, the next weekend, and then of course the UFL championship uh, game is going to be the following Sunday. So we're here to keep you guys covered. If you need anything, make sure you shoot us a message. Um, Other than that, I'll see you guys out there Saturday. Giddy up.